Hello again, everyone. This is Kaz Beelan, host of Casual Conversations, where we talk to people who are very important to our world. And today I have a very special guest. She's an acclaimed person in the world of design and landscape also design and interior design. She's the president of Design Masters. She's the co-host of a very big award-winning TV show, and her name is Lisa DeAngelis. Did I say that correctly?
You did. That was perfect. DeAngelis. That's right.
It sounds like Los Angeles, DeAngelis.
I
So
never thought about that before. You're right. Yeah. If you think of that, it's easy then.
yeah, that's right. So Lisa, let's start off. Telling me about yourself first. Sort of a little bit about you growing up and how you got to where we are today and what you're doing.
Okay. Well, first off, Kaz, thank you for having me. I
Okay.
appreciate you having me on. And wow, the history of Lisa, huh? Let's see. So I grew up in New Jersey. So always been a Jersey girl. I will never leave New Jersey. And I grew up in Middlesex County, so Woodbridge, right next to Staten Island. So I don't know if you hear the little bit of New York, kind of New Jersey accent in there, but
New York,
that's where
New
I was
York, New
from.
York. How would you say New?
Yeah, my mother and my father.
Motherfucker, yeah.
So, and I went to college in the city, New York City, went to FIT, where I studied buying and merchandising. So I figured that I would move to the city after college, but that never happened. Instead, I started a landscape company and I had a partner in that. I did that for over 20 years. And when it was time to move on to something else, I sold my half of it. So at that point, I signed a non-compete and I thought, wow, what am I going to do next? Well, while I had the landscape companies, I also had home and garden shops. So through that, we did interior design, we did floral design. So I thought, I'm going to concentrate on those areas for a while. And around that time, everybody started flipping houses. So I said, you know what? I'm going to be a contractor too. So next thing you know, I got my real estate license. I started buying properties. I started flipping houses, and um, I got so addicted to it, to taking something that needed work and making it into something pretty. So yeah, I really got into the interiors from that, and I never I never really left behind the landscape though. So I always feel like um, I'm looking at the house as a whole, curb appeal, making the interior functional, making it nice, updating it, and then I just started doing that for clients. And I guess the rest is kind of history. And people always say, why don't you pick one avenue? Do real estate or do landscape design or do interiors or do wedding flowers. But I love it all. So I always say it's like having five kids. How can you pick between your kids? Right? You can't pick favorites. You love them equally. So I think it's a whole lot of fun that each day is different for me. And I'm always doing something new and exciting.
Wow.
So,
Lisa, I just want to interrupt you for a second, tell people because this is a video podcast, but it's also an audio podcast. So I always
mhm.
tell people if they want to see how great Lisa looks or how good I look, if I do look good at all, yeah, come check us out. But if you're driving or you're just listening at the beach or wherever you are, listening to the audio podcast, the link is somewhere below the where you found the audio podcast also on iTunes, it's on iHeart, it's on Spotify, everything. So, and some people love listening to just what we talk about. Some people like to see what we all look like. And Lisa's wearing a pink outfit, so that's the hint. If you're listening, check her out, and you'll have to see what I'm wearing too. But dark today, dark, dark. So, but it's amazing how you can balance all these different things in your life. Like, do you still are in both worlds, or you're more in one than the other, interior or exterior design, I guess, and landscaping.
so I get asked that question a lot, and it varies, especially by season. So right now we're into November. So of course, in the cold months, I want to come inside. I'm not a fan of being out in the cold. So I concentrate on the interior during fall and winter. But then by springtime, I'm dying to get outside. So then I'm out at project sites through the spring and then into the summer. So it really winds up being seasonal. I try to plan it that way, which is not to say that, if somebody needs an interior done, in the late spring, of course, I'll accommodate them, but I try to switch it up a little bit.
Oh, that's so cool. Go to designmastersnj.com. That's where you can find out all about Lisa and all her services. Is there other place that people can look to see, like, on social media, all your stuff that you
Sure,
put out there?
sure. So my own personal social media is Lisa DTV, which I think we'll talk about that a little bit later.
Hmm.
But for my design work on Instagram, it's Design Masters NJ, and then the floral division is Flora Abundance NJ. So you could really see a nice sampling of the work that we do. And I say we because, of course, it's not just me by myself. I mean, in order to be successful, you have to have great people around you. So I have great teams in each of those divisions. So go on the websites or Instagram and check out some of the stuff we do.
I love that you put the NJ. It's a lot of businesses that I help out because I do commercials and infomercials, web videos, besides being on this casual conversation series. And I always say put NJ at the end. So if it's whatever designs or landscape, put NJ, because that'll, I think people in NJ, New Jersey, will at least be happy that, or instant recognition, you are a New Jersey business, not out of state. Not that there's anything wrong with that, but,
Right.
you like deal with companies and support local businesses. I think that's one of the keys, right? So NJ
Yep.
is very important. So are there any like quick design things that are hot today? And we're recording this in 2024. So if you
Hmm.
watch this in the future, that might be different. But any quick designs for interior and exterior you can give us, ideas or things that are like that happening right now?
Sure. Well, especially for exterior. So for landscaping, a hot item is native plants right now. Right. So native plants have been grown in our New Jersey soil. So they acclimate much better when you plant them, at a customer's house. They haven't traveled across the country. So they're usually fresher, they're in better condition. And when you have native plants, it's good for the environment. It's good for pollinators because it's so important to have our pollinators. So the bees and, for the ecosystem to function the way it's supposed to. So I would say that that's really hot for landscaping. As far as interiors, I think we're kind of going through a transitional period. I don't know if all the other designers would agree, but we kind of went through those years where everything was kind of gray and white and really lacking color. And I think that we're going to get a little bit more vibrant again. And for the people that are viewing, hence my more vibrant attire here and my vibrant wall mural that's in my studio behind me. So I think nice pops of color are really going to be the trend, even in kitchens. So we were doing like white cabinets, gray cabinets. There's really a lot of color coming into kitchen cabinetry now. So whether it's um, sage green, there's even like some terracotta colors. So I'm excited to start uh, doing some new designs. You
I,
get tired of the same thing all the time.
I see blue, like blue houses, blue
Hmm.
cabinets, a lot of blues coming out, or people putting black on one side and blue and regular wood on the other side. It's just like these combinations that you think off the wall in a sense, but you
Yeah,
stand back and you look at the whole combo. It comes out pretty cool because you got light here, medium, and dark tone. And
yeah. I think you're exactly right. So I think navy was the first, right?
yeah,
Because it kind of strayed a little bit from the standard black, and then we started to get into more light blues and aqua colors, which
yeah.
is exciting. So I think the next few years is going to be fun. Yeah.
Wow. Fun, fun. I hope you're having fun watching Casual Conversation with Lisa DeAngelis, uh, designmastersnj.com. So, Lisa, let's make a quick transition into, I guess, your landscape knowledge led you to an organization that helps other landscapers, and then that led
Yes.
you into television. and that
Right.
led you into amazing stuff. Tell us about that.
So that was very unexpected. So I am in the New Jersey Nursery and Landscape Association, and I'm an active committee member with that. So I'd like to participate and work on all kind of programs that are good for the green industry. Well, one day I got a phone call from the director of NJNLA, and she said, "We're filming a TV show, and we need you to run over and be our expert." And I said, "Well, I'm at a client right now, and I'm kind of all covered in paint and everything. I'm a little bit of a mess, but can you give me about a half hour?" So I tried to clean up as best as I could, and I ran down to one of our local members, which is a nursery in White House, and there was a camera there with a microphone, which I was like, "Oh, I'm so afraid of that, and I hate public speaking." And
No,
they gave me
I no, you don't hate public speaking.
I
You're public
I
speaking now.
this is true. I probably hate it a little bit now. Back then, which was about 3 years ago, I was petrified of it. So they gave me a clipboard, and there were questions that consumers wrote in
Mhm.
that they wanted answered. So I had to read the questions and come up with answers right on the spot. And the bad thing was, my head was kind of down and like this. I'm reading from the clipboard, and it was not good at all. I just thought it was the worst segment ever. Well, they did the footage. Everybody said that they were happy with it. And for the next episode, we did the same thing. And I kind of took it upon myself to say, "Hey guys, I don't think this is working. I don't think that this is like the best segment that we could do." So I grabbed the nursery owner and I told him that he was going to be the expert. In my mind, I was thinking he was going to be my victim, so I wouldn't have to answer the question. So I grabbed him and I got the microphone and I said, "Hey, can you tell us about these plants and share your knowledge with us?" So I became much more comfortable in the position that you're in today, where I'm asking the questions and somebody else is in the hot seat answering them. And
What
it just took off from there.
is that growing green? That turned into
That was
growing green later?
Yes. So that was Growing Green, and we wound up. I
Right up
think
there.
we did 3 or 4 seasons of that, which was
So
really
listen, so our crack staff dug up a little scene. I hope it's from that show because it's you interviewing a landscaping person. It's very short. Check this out, folks, and compare Lisa then to Lisa now.
The plants start to decline.
Right, because then you're redoing everything in a few
Right,
years.
right,
And what's the point of that?
exactly.
So a little bit of education up front.
Education, that's what it's all about. And you do education
education.
also, right? You educate
Exactly.
schools and organizations about landscaping as well, right?
Yeah. And so I should plug NJNLA again to anybody who's watching, anybody who's in the industry. We have great educational programs, and landscapers can join and they can become certified. So we have a program called the Certified Nursery Landscape Professional. So CNLP for short. You do some classes, you take a test, and then you do continuing education. I believe it's every 2 years to maintain that certification. And when consumers are looking for somebody and they want to be sure that they're knowledgeable and they know what they're doing, if consumers look for that CNLP designation, they'll know that the person is really an expert in the field. So it's a great way to distinguish yourself from other landscape companies, and a great way for consumers to find somebody.
Well, speaking of certification, you're being part of On the Loose network there. You do a program there. You won an award, I believe, part of that. And part of it was thanks to this gentleman, Steve Kaiser, right there standing with you.
Yes.
Great legend in local television and international television. He's a nonstop, serial producer of programming that's amazing. Tell us about how you got involved with that and how that kind of lured in Lisa
Yes.
DTV.
Sure. So from doing Growing Green, Steve was the producer for that. So after filming, month after month, we got to be friends, and Steve was currently hosting a show. So he's got a show called On the Loose that I believe he's been doing for 20 years or 20 something years. So very long
Maybe
running show.
30. I think 30.
Maybe
or more.
30.
But he won't
Not
admit
that-
to that. Maybe he will.
Right. We don't want to age him with the 30. But the last host, her name was Mary, so a lovely woman. And Mary was retiring and he needed a replacement. So after working with him with Growing Green, he asked if I kind of wanted to take that over, which led to my own show called Lisa DTV. So we've had quite a lot of fun with Lisa DTV.
So, speaking of fun with Lisa DTV, you know, our crack staff is very good when they have some spare time. They can dig up a lot of stuff. It's easier now because everything's on the internet, you know. So, here's a little sample of what you talk about. I don't know. He's holding some kind of strange thing, this gentleman next to you. So, let's see what that's all about.
Okay, so I grabbed my favorite partner in crime, Joe Amore, and he has now stolen the duck.
I stole the duck. They're looking for the duck, and I got the duck. You found the duck.
That's where the duck went to. I've been looking at
That's where it is. Oh boy. That's
Tell
a
me a
good
little
clip.
bit about that. Tell me about that, how that came about.
Well, like I said, we have a whole lot of fun. And, you know, I'm not a real serious person. I like to have fun when we film. So that was at the Pines Manor. That was an event called A Taste of Middlesex, where local restaurants come out and give samples of what they serve. So Duck Donuts was there, and that was their mascot, the duck. And so we just thought it'd be kind of funny to steal the duck, and we kind of passed him around. And Joe, the owner manager of Pines Manor, he got the duck in the end. So I don't know if it was ever returned. I'm not sure at this point.
Oh, well, maybe one day the duck will get tracked back. Who knows? But I learn a lot of things doing casual conversations, like speaking with you. And you learn a lot of things when you go to different businesses. And here you learn how to make everyone's favorite dinner, perhaps. Check this out.
Is that yours?
This is your pizza.
That's mine?
That's yours. Look how nice it came out.
I see
You did a great job.
All right.
And mine's coming
I'm
out
like
next.
a real life chef now.
You're so happy you made that pizza. You know, it's
have no idea.
you know, what's cool is that, you know, people who are watching the video portion get to see this. So if you're listening, you got to go back and watch the video because you get to see how great Lisa looks and everything else. And also all these fun clips are so fun to watch. So did you actually eat that pizza and enjoy it? Or what happened with it after the crew ate it up? What happened?
I did. I had a piece, and the staff of the pizza place each took a slice. But I will say, the reason why I was so amazed is, you know, I'm talented in a lot of things, but cooking is not one of them. So, and especially coming from an Italian family, everybody's really puzzled by that. You know, stereotypically, Italians are supposed to be great cooks, and that gene, that just skipped me. So when I made the pizza, I was like, my grandpa, if he saw this, he would be so proud. He made the best pizza.
That's amazing. So you get to go indoors, you get to go outdoors on the loose also. Check this one out.
Yes, all I need is a beautiful lady. No, I'm kidding. No. I'm not.
Well, I think he wasn't wearing glasses, so he wasn't sure what was going on there. So I was like, he's like, dude, there's one standing next to you. Kate.
Oh, well, thank you. He was quite the character. So that was at the Basking Ridge Car Show that they have every summer. Lots and lots of great cars there. We had a really good time. And he had the car that is featured in the Grey Poupon commercials.
Oh, okay.
So he had the whole setup in the back of the car. It was really, really funny. And he really went along in character, playing the part so well. It was a really fun time.
So you went, pardon me, do you have any Grey Poupon?
Exactly. Yes.
That was a classic commercial. A lot of great stuff.
Yeah.
I'm speaking, the one local commercial is Reps with the little guys. We're here to pump you up.
Yes, that's a good one.
I created those commercials way back then when Steve was a teenager. Your producer
Ah.
on the loose. But we did those back then, and we did the Lacardi daddy-daughter commercials and stuff like that. So, you know, it's those are 30-second little sound bites. Just sort of, these are a couple of 10-second sound bites, which are great from the program. Now, this is the last clip, and it's a very special guest that's on there. You can tell us afterwards, okay? A
Okay.
little girl there.
So I'm continuing my tour of downtown Flemington, and I was just walking through the neighborhood here, and
She just got it posing there, like, look at me. Who is
Yes,
that?
yes. So in the middle of speaking, I kind of stuttered for a moment because I realized as I was talking to Kevin, the artist, my granddaughter came out of the door of the art gallery there. And I thought, what is she doing in this shot? So, hey, you know, kids, they're all over the place. She's running around, and just one of those things that makes it even funnier.
No,
But
kids are great. So now that you've been a television celebrity for a while, now this time you are the guest on another celebrity show. But you know, you've been designing, and now you're interviewer and being interviewed now. Like, do you have a favorite world to be in, or a little bit of each, or what? What would you say?
oh boy. So no, I still can't say I have a favorite. Whatever I'm working on a particular day, I say that that's my favorite because when I'm in the moment, I'm enjoying myself. But as I said earlier, then the next day, I'm on to one of the other things. And I love it all. So basically, I love everything except, as I said before, cooking. But I do get proud of myself when we do those cooking segments because we've actually done a few of them. And in the end, I've been quite surprised that I've made some good stuff. So, you know, maybe I'll bring you some of my cooking someday, Kaz, you know, something that I make on the air, and then you can sample it and let me know.
That would be great. I'll have my people talk to your people, and maybe I'll be a guest on your show, and we'll do a cooking segment together. I'm Polish, so we'll make some pierogi or stuffed cabbage, or, you know, stuff like that.
Oh, that would be delicious.
Or you can do Polish stuff, and I'll do Italian stuff. Really put you on a challenge, you know. So
there you go.
since, you know, Italian
That
cooking, you
sounds
said
fair.
Italian cooking isn't working out for you, so maybe Polish cooking could be working out for you.
That's right. That's right. And maybe I could be the pierogi queen.
There you go. Well, we're both Europeans, sort of, Italian, Polish, so neighbors in a sense in Europe there. But so what is your favorite experience, I say, from designing? You know, what makes you happy when you finish a project? Let's say, you know, what makes you glad?
Well, that's a good question. So some projects are quick, right? So there's not even usually time to think about, you know, your favorite portion of it or what about it you really liked. But there's some projects that I have that last for months. And I will say that I find I'm excited, the client is excited at the beginning of the project when we get started. But when you're doing something that's a lengthy process, as in anything, kind of midway through, you start to feel a little bit bogged down and like, ooh, when are we getting, you know, to the finish line, and is it going to happen? And, you know, you're getting a little bit antsy, but then it kind of turns the corner. And then when you see that it's almost complete and, you know, the excitement starts to build again. And then when the project is finally done and the client comes in and sees it for the first time, I mean, I just love making people happy. You know, so if they're like thrilled about it, I go home so happy, which is a good thing. But sometimes I say it's a bad thing because I'm so focused on that sometimes I forget the business portion. And I mean, these people become my friends. And then I say, wow, I feel bad charging a friend. You know, have to keep in mind it's a business too. But I really get excited when the client is happy. There's no better feeling than that.
Hey, just like here, we heard everything you have to say. And I'm sad to say that we're pretty much out of time. 30 minutes is almost up, believe it or not. We covered so much about Lisa DeAngelis, and designmastersnj.com is the place to go find out all about Lisa DeAngelis, and from designer to TV star to award-winning television personality, and now a podcast guest. This is the first podcast guest we kind of did long form like this.
Yes. And when you said the length that I was going to have to talk, I said, I can't talk for that long. But look, here we are already. Go figure.
That's how it goes. Yeah. So listen, every guest that I asked this to every person. I said it's the most important question. What was it like being a guest here on Casual Conversations, Lisa?
It was great. And you are the best host ever because we had a wonderful casual conversation.
We certainly did. It was casual and fun and informative and entertaining and lots of cool stuff. So why don't you tell people all the places they can contact you one more time, real quick?
Sure. So my main website is designmastersnj.com. You can get to my other floral website from a tab on there. My phone number is on there. Email is on there. So that's really the best place. Or if they want to see, some funny things, especially bloopers, because Steve likes to post the bloopers, which I share them on my personal Instagram a lot of times, which is Lisa DTV. And you'll see all kind of things like me tripping on the set, and sometimes I'm rolling out of boxes. So I'm always having what he calls a Lucy moment. So go to my Instagram to see those Lucy moments.
Lisa, Steve just sent me a message saying that make sure you mention Growing Green is not the name of the program anymore. There's a new name for it. So mention that for him.
Right. Yes. So the new show for the landscape industry is going to be the Green Industry Report. And we are filming the premiere episode of that next week. So that should be on the air within the next 2 weeks. So I hope everybody looks for it.
On the Loose TV, correct? That's where it'll be. And many other places, social media and everything. Thank you very much for being a great guest, Lisa. And I'll talk to you soon. We'll have you back because you're just wonderful. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Kaz.